there. This is a special edition of your favorite program, The Power Circuit, from the Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN. This program updates you on trending issues in the power sector, and so don't miss a second of it. In this edition, we have top-of-the-chart reports packaged for your delightful view. Nigeria and the Arab Republic of Egypt to partner to improve access to electricity. Replacement of 5 burnt power transmission towers in Lagos records progress. Keep watching The Power Circuit. Amara Agugoesi is my name, and together, let's go through this half hour. Nigeria's Minister of Power, Engineer Abubakar Aliyu, and the Egyptian ambassador to Nigeria, Ihad Mustafa Awad, have held a meeting where they discussed efforts to boost development needs by improving access to electricity, including renewable energy in Nigeria and Egypt. Let's take a report of the meeting which took place at the Federal Ministry of Power in Abuja.
The Minister of Power, Engineer Abubakar Aliyu, who received the Egyptian ambassador in company of the Minister of State for Power, Mr. Godi J.D. Agwa, and the Permanent Secretary, Minister of Power, Nebo Elisanako, affirmed the commitment of the federal government to find advanced model of improving electricity supply access for Nigerians.
We know how Egypt has excelled in the field of electricity. Just not quite long ago, there was a team from El Suedi that came to my office and showed me so many things that you have done. The 4,000 plus megawatt solar power that you have completed, which is very, very impressive. 4,000 megawatts of, you can just imagine what that will do to Nigerian policy of the 30-30-30, 4,000 megawatts. If we can have that, at least it will boost our aspiration to reach 30-30-30. That is only for solar, which you have done 4,000 plus, halfway. Then we can get the rest from which we already have from hydro and maybe wind. So you see what that will mean to us here.
The minister spoke on the Memorandum of Understanding which the ministry will sign with the Ministry of Electricity and Renewable Energy of Egypt as the partner to grow the power sector.
It is based on that experience that you have and based on the opportunities that is abound in the landscape of Nigeria, that we have agreed to go into this MOU to see how we can support each other. I want to see very soon that Egypt come in with investors to bring in that technology to transfer, if possible, that 5,000 megawatts of solar to Nigeria, or the similar one to be installed in Nigeria also to key into what we are doing. So understanding the operation of the NESI, this MOU will give you access to what we are doing in the electricity supply industry, so that you understand and clearly, as you understand, you will begin to pick up where we have been saying there are opportunities, which is very certain.
Nigeria already has an action plan which is being implemented to increase power transmission and enhance distribution capacity, the minister told the Egyptian envoy.
In Nigeria, with a GDP of $500 billion and over 200 million population, with only a willing capacity of 5,000 megawatts on the average. You can imagine how small that is. So what we are doing currently is to try to position the transmission company of Nigeria, our national grid, who handles the national grid, to be able to transmit more electricity in order to support this economy and the population and the distribution part also. So this is what we are doing. So we have a lot of gaps, as you all know. That's why we're unable to. We are working so hard to ensure that we raise the operational capacity of the transmission and the distribution. So we are approaching it from so many angles.
Engineer Liu stated that the federal government of Nigeria signed a power project deal with Siemens AG, a German firm, in 2019 to deliver up to 25,000 megawatts of electricity to the national grid, as the government seeks more of such partners.
Our president negotiated with the German chancellor, the one that has just left the office, Angela Merkel, to bring Siemens to assist also. So the Siemens is already working with us. In fact, we have even made early orders in that engagement. We are engaging them. It's a methodical approach. First, second phase, and third phase. In the first phase, we are trying quickly to raise the operational capacity of the transmission and the distribution to 7,000 megawatts by rehabilitating the transmission section of the value chain and the distribution. And then the second phase of the intervention, we are going to raise the operational capacity, expand to 11,000 megawatts. Then the third phase is going to be the whole value chain from generation, transmission to distribution, which is going to take between around 5 years, remaining like 3 years up to 2025 to raise the operational capacity to 25,000 megawatts.
Responding, the Egyptian ambassador Ihad Awad said he foresees the manifestation of how Egypt and Nigeria will complement each other, which will be demonstrated by the anticipated cooperation.
Since then, the MOU drafts have been going back and forth with considerable speed, I must say, compared to other MOUs that we are handling also in other areas. So this is, I have to say, it's no-brainer that this particular area and sector is a manifestation of how the two governments and the two countries have complementary advantages. And it's also a manifestation of how Africa to Africa development, cooperation, and addressing development needs can be demonstrated by cooperation between Nigeria and Egypt in this particular sector. Because power and energy is the engine of development. And if we are at the end of the day speaking about development and the vision for developing Africa by 2030 and meet certain goals of development by 2030, with no energy and power, we will not be able to achieve anything. So I'm very happy that we are putting our hands on the engine of development between the largest countries in Africa. Most recent statistics says that Egypt has overtaken South Africa as the second largest economy in Africa after Nigeria.
The Egyptian ambassador further stated that the Egyptian embassy and the Ministry of Electricity and Renewable Energy would ensure to achieve certain milestones in the realization of the Memorandum of Understanding with Nigeria.
We would like to come back here by towards the end of 2022 and measure the progress achieved in the implementation of certain areas of this MOU, inshallah. So the second step, practical step, will be once we have the MOU ready, then we will have to work with your Excellency's team to identify the dates for your visit. And attached to the invitation that we channeled, addressed to you from your counterpart, His Excellency Dr. Mohammed Shakir al-Markabi, was a very preliminary program for the visit, which addresses the areas also that Your Excellency has kindly alluded to. And of course, this is just a proposed program and can be further beefed up and enhanced based on the needs that Your Excellency could identify.
Let's take a break. We'll be right back.
Do you know that vandalizing power infrastructure and stealing its components have negative impact on government's efforts towards improving the nation's power sector? Say no to vandalism. Vandalism leaves TCN with the enormous task of re-erecting and restraining damaged power transmission lines and towers, which cost millions of naira to rebuild. Money that should be used for transmission expansion projects to make increased bulk electricity readily available to electricity consumers through the distribution companies. Do you know that vandals are destroying our common national assets, funded with taxpayers' monies, and negatively impeding our common socio-economic progress? Say no to vandalism. Do not condone vandals, because stealing parts of electricity transmission towers and cables disrupts the transmission of generated power to distribution load centers, threatening the national grid, your comfort, and ultimately the nation's economic growth. So don't just walk away. Be involved. Do something when you observe suspicious activities around transmission installations or even vandals at work. Don't just walk away. Report to any transmission office closest to you or any security outfit around your vicinity. Say no to vandalism. TCN enjoins you to work with us to stop the willful destructions of our collective national assets as we work to transmit increased bulk electricity in the most efficient and effective manner. This message is brought to you by the Transmission Company of Nigeria. TCN, transmitting bulk electricity for national development.
The Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, is glad to inform you that work has progressed significantly on the 5 burnt power transmission towers destroyed by an inferno recently along the 330 kilovolts Ikeja West to Akamba transmission line in Lagos.
A section of a 330 kilovolt transmission line, which is the first of the 2 lines that transmit power from the 330-132 kilovolt Ikeja West transmission substation to the 330-132 kV Akamba substation in Lagos State, was engulfed in flames from an inferno on a vandalized petroleum pipeline in Ishere Olofin area of Lagos. TCN immediately transferred the load to the second line, while the acting managing director and chief executive officer of TCN, Engineer Dr. Sule Ahmed Abdulaziz, and his team had an on-site assessment before engaging engineers to quickly replace the burnt towers. At the project site where the ongoing replacement work is progressing, the senior manager system lines at the Akamba sub-region of the TCN Lagos region, Engineer Emmanuel Kuyi, gave an overview of the replacement work.
This job came up because of the results we had when there was a vandalization of a petroleum pipeline. It caught fire on the 23rd/24th of December 2021. The flame got the lines that was on this tower before, got it caught. And when that happened, we had 5 of our towers on this line that came down. collapsed on that very day. So this particular person, the contractor that is working now, was given this tower 529, to re-erect it. And that was what brought them to come to this side.
Engineer Kuyi further stated that the power transmission tower replacement project was progressing significantly and had reached over 50% in such a short time.
Right now, when we look at the level of damage then, they are now, we can say 50%. In Lagos region, this environment is a known fact that these vandalization have been coming up. 2019, it happens like that. This 2020 to 2021 to 22, it happens again. To the vandals, this is serious damage to national asset. Yes, the vandals may see quick money. They should know that this is national asset, and the loss to the federal government, then narrow to TCN, is so much that to quantify it will be hard.
The TCN officials said towards sustaining bulk power supply, the company immediately took emergency steps when the incident occurred.
What happened really is a great loss to the nation. To funders, we are begging them to stop in perpetrating this evil. There's nothing they will gain, and we also want to advise the federal government, the paraphernalia, the security men, to please come to the rescue of this nation, to actually fish out the people that are behind the vandalization of our petroleum pipeline. The capacity that this line used to carry was 145 megawatts before. Though we have two lines that are paralleling each other. We are using one leg as a redundant leg, and that was why it looks as if nothing has happened. Right now we are using the other line, but this particular line was carrying 145 megawatts on the day this thing happened. We are foreseeing the fact that apart from vandals, it might be tripping as a result of vegetation, it might be collapsed tower due to erosion effect, and then all other things that can cause tripping on the line. So when one trips, we move to the other line.
At another site of a 330 kilovolt transmission tower replacement project in Lagos, Engineer Kuyi said 3 towers collapsed at the section, but the replacement towers are being erected.
This is tower 527 under Ikeja West Akongba 330 kV line. This tower 527 was among the one that ruptured before. It collapsed. But this section of the line, we have 3 towers that collapse. So the 3 towers are given to RAF Engineering Company. They have finished re-erecting this one. These are the ruptured angle iron that are removed from the one that collapsed. So they have replaced it.
Also speaking, the principal manager system lines in the Lagos region, who was represented by senior manager system lines, Engineer Corey Williams, said the loss was a critical one for TCN and the government.
It was huge. Everybody knows that the cost of getting a complete tower runs in millions of dollars. And when it happened, we lost 5 towers, which is a very big, huge loss to the government and to TCN at large. Because of the urgency of what we are doing, because now presently we are standing on one leg, you understand me, because the other line is the one carrying the whole load, and if anything happens to that line, that means the whole of the area where this is covers will be in darkness. So because of that, the TCN engineers are making sure that the contractors work day and night to see to the completion of this project. Initially, we projected like 3 months, but from what we are seeing, I feel we are going to complete in a very good time. Now, if you can look at the tower at my back, you understand me, it's almost 50% done. And while speaking with the contractor confirmed that from now to next week, the tower will be completed. So once we complete the towers, we'll string the line, and the whole transmission line will come back.
On the quality of project delivery at the site, Engineer Corey said the TCN officials are ensuring that the materials used by the engineers are within the standard specifications.
If we were to import this thing, we know the time it would have cost, the time it would have taken, and the money it would have cost the management. But the management didn't feel to like source for the material locally, and we are pleased to inform the general public that yes, the work is going on well. We are inspecting to make sure that materials used are up to specifications, and the contractors are actually doing a very good job. All these things are for our collective use. You understand me? When they are working, everybody will have light. Even the common man, the barbers, they will see light to work, and they will gain from it. But when they vandalize all these things, it affects them somehow. It's causing poverty to the nation.
Engineer Corey also has words for the management.
I want to really appreciate our MD. He's doing a very good job with his team. I want to appreciate the urgency they saw in this job, and by ensuring that this job come to completion, because this thing just happened barely like 2-3 weeks ago, and look at the extent of work going on. It shows that we are taking this job serious, and we are taking the electricity problem of Nigeria very, very serious. I want to really appreciate them.
Ahabo Sunday is the project officer for RAF Engineering Company, which is one of the 2 companies contracted by TCN to replace the 5 damaged 330 kilovolt power transmission towers.
I'm dealing with 3 towers. This is tower 526. The other one there, I've already completed that. There is tower 527. And remaining tower 528. Well, in terms of that solidification, everything is intact, is okay, 100%. Yes, but I'm here to assure you that the completion of this very tower location 526, let me say Saturday, we'll be able to complete the structural work. This is a structural job. Yeah, the one we are doing now.
The project supervisor, Legacy Power Engineer Bello Yusuf, said the firm is replacing 2 of the 5 units of 330 kilovolt power transmission tower damaged by fire recently. He said their section of the project was nearly 60% level and could be completed within a shorter time.
Because the damages of the tower was too much, so we have to do some fabrication, which is much. That will just delay the work little.
You have seen the developmental stride of the Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, towards improving bulk power capacity nationwide. In your community, ensure you always support TCN to tackle cases of the encroachment of the right-of-way of power lines. Also avoid activities that could lead to fire outbreaks, especially around power lines. And that's the much we can bring to you in this edition. Nigeria and the Arab Republic of Egypt to partner to improve access to electricity. Do keep track of this episode and all others with just a click on the TCN YouTube channel. And keep your support coming for TCN on these platforms as we join hands to ensure TCN delivers improved bulk electricity nationwide. Keep being apt in battling the COVID-19 variants by getting vaccinated and keeping to all the prevention protocols. Thank you for always sticking with the power circuit. I am Amara Agogoesi, and see you next week.